Viewers, good morning and welcome to a special live interview with our very own principal, Mr. Andy Francis at the Virgin Islands School of Technical Studies. The institution is this year celebrating its 5th anniversary. All things education and much more after a word from our sponsors.
Everyone looks to the future, but no one truly knows what the future holds.
The number of people under the age of 20 with type 2 diabetes could increase by 49% by 2050. Let it be known that we all have a 30% chance of developing hypertension.
Globally, more than 300 million people of all ages suffer from depression.
More than 60,000 young adults aged 20 to 39 are diagnosed with cancer each year. Obesity leads to problems such as stroke, heart disease, and kidney failure.
No matter your race, age, or color, we are all at risk.
These diseases can be managed or prevented if caught early.
But with the right medicine and the right doctors to keep us on a path to live a robust and healthy life,
we will live well.
Principal, welcome to 284 Media.
Morning, Ron. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Your institution, as we said in the intro, this year celebrates 5 years of education, technical education in the Virgin Islands. You, of course, have been there for 3 of those 5 years. Before we get into the interview, when you look back at the past few years, what are you most proud of?
Well, what I'm most proud of, first, I must give kudos for the previous leadership of the school, Miss Jermaine Scatley.
Yes, of course.
She has been the standard bearer from the very inception up until I took over in 2018. So I must say a job well done on her part, and of course the Ministry of Education. What I'm most proud of is the mere fact that we could have had 77% of our students who sat the Caribbean Vocational Qualification Examination for the first time in the territory doing exceptionally well.
Wow.
And we're hoping to continue on that pathway.
Wonderful. Tell me a little bit about some of the programs that are offered at the Virgin Islands School of Technical Studies.
Well, currently we have 3 programs offering. We have motor vehicle repairs, cars and light trucks, which is really auto mechanics. We have general cosmetology.
Okay.
And we have hospitality and tourism management, which is broken down into food and bev and commercial food prep.
Okay, so for students who might not be enrolled presently, what is the application process like, the administration process? They might be at a different school and they want to transfer. How does that work?
Well, currently what we do, we have an application period where we market the programs of the school.
Okay.
So we use social media and of course our Tell It campaign, where we actually...
Tell me about that.
We actually visit the various schools.
Okay.
And we speak about the programs, we speak about the different careers. Last year was an innovative year for us because what we did, we actually took students from the programs to demonstrate
Wonderful.
exactly what they do in the program.
Okay.
Once we complete the marketing process, then students would fill out an application form, and there are other documentation that should be attached to that form. Once that comes in, then we have to do the requisite check to ensure that the students meet the requisite matriculation to enter. The fact that we're a technical school, we have to ensure that the students who are coming meet the matriculation requirements.
Understood.
Once that is done, then there's an interview process, because we want to ensure that we're not just looking at the academic profile of the students, but we can understand the social settings of the students. So the counselor is very integral in that process in terms of interviewing the students to get an understanding of why is it that you chose this program?
Of course.
Why is it that you want to come to VIST? Where do you see yourselves after you graduate from the Virgin Islands School of Technical Studies? Then once that process is completed, then an assessment of the application is done, and the students will be notified if they are successful or not. However, we also ensure that each child do a diagnostic test in math and English prior to the start of school, and that takes place during the orientation period.
Wonderful. Now, I was witness to the celebratory ceremony which took place last week at your school, and one of the things I most enjoyed, Principal, I must admit, was hearing a few testimonials from students who attended the institution, and perhaps some of them actually are still students. It was a bit overwhelming to listen, to be honest with you. It was heartfelt, it was sincere. Tell me about some of the students that VIST is producing. Tell me about the students that you're producing. How would you describe a student at the Virgin Islands School of Technical Studies?
Well, we are producing our own students who are holistic, both academics and in sports, and of course in their own social setting. We are producing students who are very highly technically skilled and competent in their craft. 2 years ago, we had one of our students, Radiance Modest.
Yes.
She actually gave a testimony as well, where she went to Miami, where she won Junior Chef Taste of the Caribbean in the seafood competition, which was exceptional on her part. We have had other students who have participated in other competition as well. Might not have won, but the opportunity just to be exposed on a national level has broadened their own horizon as well. So we are ensuring that the profile of our students is one in which once they complete the program and get into the world of work, then they can fit, as we would say, they hit the ground running.
And that they've been doing, definitely. I want to touch a little bit on about some misconceptions, because early on when the institution was first established, I think it garnered a bit of some negative connotation. What are some of the misconceptions of the technical school in your observation that you've come about, and how do you tackle that as principal?
Well, I'm not sure that issue resides only in the territory. It's something which is international.
Correct.
And I can tell you that most countries who offer TVET will speak to the stigma that has been attached. And it's not something that came up just the other day. This has been, history dictates where that is concerned. And it's because most persons don't understand what TVET is about, what technical education is about. My little philosophy is that technical education is a driver for economic growth and development. Whichever territory that you go, when you look at the plethora of jobs and skilled workers, they're the ones that drives the economy. You look at the construction worker.
Of course.
You look at the doctors. You look at the engineers, the cosmetologists, the hospitality industry, where you have from your chef to your housekeepers. If we didn't have these persons readily available to service the sector, then we would have a lot of challenges.
Most definitely.
Here in the BVI, for example, we have this cruise ship coming in ever so often because we know that tourism is one of the pillars on which we stand. If we never had a vibrant tourism sector with persons with the requisite skills and competencies to service the sector, then chances are these persons would have gone somewhere else, because customer service is #1. So we have to ensure that we build the economy through technical education. One of the things that we are doing is to market what we offer at the Virgin Islands School of Technical Studies.
Wonderful.
And this is not just for persons who attend between 8 and 4:30. Currently, we're on a drive to develop an evening institute. The proposal has already been developed.
Spectacular.
We have done some marketing already. It has, in fact, been approved by the Ministry of Education. And we have already have some takers, persons who are applying to get into this program, because persons see the value of having a certification, because we're talking about transferability of skills from one territory to the next. So that is one thing that we are proud of. We're hoping to do some more marketing to get some more persons in, because one of the things that we realize is that there are persons within the workforce who are very skilled and competent at what they do. However, they need a certification. And that is one niche market that we're looking to get persons into so that they can become certified in their profession.
Well, one phrase that comes to mind definitely when you speak of the contribution would definitely have to be nation building.
Absolutely.
A lot of persons don't understand that, just like you mentioned, society is nothing without the core technical aspects like you just mentioned. What do you think the general public, persons within the community, stakeholders, partners, how do you think they could assist the institution moving forward?
Well, one of the things that we have been doing is to meet with our stakeholders. We have had one such engagement, what we call it is a stakeholders consultation, where we bring in as much persons from the industry as possible to meet with us, to hear from them what they require. It's important as well for us because in the development of programs, we want to ensure that our programs are labor market ready. So we have to hear from our stakeholders. We don't want to make the mistake that we know exactly.
What is it exactly they're looking for? What do they need? Yeah.
Right. So we engage them to ascertain what is it that they require from us. And of course, we can tailor what we are doing to meet their needs. So we have been doing that kind of consultation. We have been having our students go on the yearly job placement. We have our 12th graders who we have an initiative coming up very soon where our 12th graders will go into the world of work for 1 day per week, where they can own their skills, where we can see the transferability between what is happening within the institution and what is happening within the industry. So at the end of the day, when they graduate industry, they are getting persons who are directly ready and trained in some extent to take up key positions within the workforce as well. I know the Ministry of Education is also working within the industry, more so the automotive sector, so as to ensure that we can have a very rigid program where our 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade students can be engaged a bit more within the sector, so as to ensure that we can get the requisite skilled and competent persons that we require at the end of their training.
You touched earlier on TVET and its role. For the average person who might not understand it, break it down for them.
TVET is Technical Vocational Education and Training. It's different from the average academic training. The academic training will focus on the soft skills, the math, the English, the science, the tourism, the entrepreneurship, etc. Whilst technical vocational education, it's skills-based. It's training persons with a particular skill set that is required within industry. In fact, there's a particular slogan that I love so much that says, education makes you trainable. That's all it does. But it's a training that you get that makes you employable.
Of course.
So we want to ensure that our students are not just employable, but they are trainable so that when they get into the world of work, they can take up those key positions and function wholesomely.
Well, Principal Francis, on behalf of 284 Media, we would like to commend you and your team at the Virgin Islands School of Technical Studies on a job well done. We have seen the impact within the community, and we wish you guys all the best, all continued success, and thanks for stopping by.
Well, thanks for having me, and before I go,
of course,
I'd like to definitely thank all our stakeholders, starting from our teachers who have been working so hard with our students. Without our teachers, believe me, our students would not be where they are right now. Our teachers go beyond the call of duty.
Most definitely.
So as to ensure that the students can get the requisite knowledge, skills, and competencies that they require. Our counselor, as said, our past educators who started the process. I mentioned Jermaine Scatliff, our past Vice Principal, Mr. Clifton Forbes, who has worked so hard and tirelessly with the institution as well to have brought it to exactly where it is right now. And of course, I mean, the Ministry of Education, they have given us the requisite support that we have needed and what we desire. And of course, we can't leave out our stakeholders who have been working to ensure that our students can, at the end of their training, fit into the world of work.
Most definitely. Thank you, Principal.
Thanks for having me.
You're most welcome. Brilliant Hands and Minds tutoring services, one-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too. Offering intense curriculum-based training to help you or your loved ones get their high school diploma. It's time to make your family's education a #1 priority. Hurry, space is limited. Brilliant Hands and Minds Learning Center. We are the trained education professionals.